Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show once again. We appreciate you following Behind the Mic Stand. I am your host, Alex Babbitt, but y'all know that already. We have a special guest this evening. One of my favorites, I say that a lot. This guy is one of my favorites because I met him on set. How can I explain him better than one of the coolest motherfuckers you ever gonna meet? Ladies and gentlemen, he's named after one of the greatest R&B singers of '89. Make some noise for the one and only Aaron Hall. What's up, bro?
Yeah, it's Austin Hall, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, it counts. It counts. You know I met Austin. Nah, we
you trying to get there. You trying to, you was just trying to get there. That's all that was. You were like, who can I name him after? There ain't no famous singer's named Austin. There's an Aaron in this motherfucker.
Nah, Aaron Hall, you know that one. You know I fuck with you heavy. So we keeping it all. But I love you, bro. How you doing?
We can cuss on here?
Yeah, you good.
Man, fuck you, man.
I'm leaving you out. I'm leaving you out, bro.
No, man, I'm doing good, man. Just came from LA, doing some shows at Caroline's this weekend, man. So it's gonna be fun, man.
Ooh, making money.
Yeah, trying to. You know what I mean?
You're not trying to do. Since I first met you, you were my go-to. You weren't my money friend, but you were for sure like my industry. Like, let me see what Aaron doing. Austin, Jesus Christ! I keep saying Aaron because I'm thinking of this Aaron. Jesus Christ! I didn't want to do that to you.
He's like, it's all right, man.
Yeah,
you know
the cameraman. For people who don't know, the cameraman name is Aaron. See, look at it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He's like, but this is why he's gonna make it because he's already Hollywood. This is one of my guys. This is one of my I'm his biggest fan. He don't even know my name. But I like it, Johnny. I like it. I love it.
I've been to your house.
I know. That's what I'm telling you. That's what it gotta be, Mr. Carson. Listen, I started out doing stand.
I hate it here. I already hate this episode. It's one of my favorites.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. I like this. You doing nice stuff, man. He got equipment. He's doing fine.
Nah, man, we try to figure it all out. We love everybody.
I love it. I fucking love it.
This feels like a lie now, but this is great. This is great. But you were one of those guys who, especially coming from your background. We'll get into it a little bit if you don't mind.
No.
It's like you were the first dude that I met that was in the industry, but you weren't in it on something that we said on the show previously is every comedian comes from they're either sad rich kids or fun poor kids. You were one of the very first, and I think you were more sad rich kid.
Yeah, the craziest thing is I wasn't sad at all, man. Here's the thing. That's what's insane. This was the first time that I realized I wasn't like a lot of the other comedians. It was the first time I did an open mic. I went to this place called Barney's Beanery or something. Like this was the first open mic in LA. Not even like a predominantly like popular open mic, but I go there for 3 hours waiting to do 3 minutes. And I'm sitting through, and you know what open mics are like.
Yeah.
So it's just real sad, depressing, suicidal type shit. So it's like these geeky white guys up there like, well, the first time I wanted to kill myself, and I'm like looking around the room like, ain't nobody, like this seems like a cry for help. Like y'all not gonna say nothing? And then it was like all time, my mom's a bitch. And then I realized, I was like, man, I can't relate to none of this shit. It's like I love both my parents.
They're quite nice.
My dad was an asshole, but he was just trying to teach me how to be a man. Like very understanding. Now where my hate fountains from is society. That's where my anger and my comedy really comes from. Is just I hate this place. I don't really like people, man. So like that's what it's like. My distaste for the human race is where all my jokes and everything comes from, man.
Nah, it's fun that you said the open mic was full of like a bunch of corny white dudes. You also got to tell people you're not white. I got to make that very clear.
Here's the thing. After hearing me for a while, they'll probably start to pick up on something. Like right now, they're at the confused stage. Where they're like, I hear it, but I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, all right, well, I mean,
this might just be a fun Puerto Rican.
That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, he grew up around a lot of black people, but no, like, I'm black and Native American. So my dad is like 75, 80% nanny coat from like Delaware and all of that shit, and then my mom is 100% black, but yeah, I don't want to say this right now. I mean, you know what? Fuck it. I've always had like a sneaky suspicion, because my grandparents are both Alex's color, right? And then my mom came out like a little bit lighter than me. So I was always like getting hit in the head, because I'd be like, so Grandpa was just a really nice guy. Like, he was just a really good guy. Because clearly, you know, oil doesn't birth bleach. Like, this is very strange that nobody's saying this at cookouts, no nothing. It's just me. I'm 5 years old. Like,
why is everybody
else?
Sisters?
Yeah.
What complexion?
So, my sister is a little bit darker than me, and my brother is probably around. He looks like Turkish or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, so all of us are like really just, that's just what it was. Yeah, of course. Like here's the thing, my brother, like in high school, used to have like long, luxurious hair. So they used to call him the Spaniard. No bullshit. Like, it was just, and my sister, they always are basically like, they think she's white until they come up on her, and then they start hearing her talk, and then they're like, oh, definitely, okay.
So your whole family has that.
Whole family. We sneak up on you black. We ain't army black. We like Jason Bourne. You know what I mean?
Surprise black.
Ha-ha. Send me into the HR, see if they racist or not.
They be talking wild shit. You know how black people, you know.
Yeah, I know. You know, here's Dante late again. They'd be like, I mean, can you blame him? I'd be like, Bob is racist as fuck. Let's get him the hell out of here. No,
so you loved your family. So, you know, coming up in stand-up, was that hard for you to develop your voice? Because did you feel like you had to be more like, you know, not neglectful, but like angry, like, oh, I need to be mad at my family? You just never went the family route?
No, I never went the family route, which was crazy though, because that's one of the things that Keith Robinson was always telling me. Like, because I do have interesting things to talk about my family, but the real issue is I like, my mom is a big deal, like my sister is a big deal. So like, the one thing that I realized about a lot of the people that I looked up to into the comedy game is their family wasn't doing anything. So they can, like Chris Rock can talk about his family, because you don't know his family. Like Dave Chappelle.
The rocks, but he don't bring them up.
Right, but he talks about his dad and his mom and all of this other shit.
I got a brother named Tony, he don't know do that.
Yeah. But you know what's funny is, I think they do that shit just because they want to keep it separate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because Charlie never did anything while Eddie was there. Yeah. So it didn't really, but I mean.
And he rarely ever, like in his set, Charlie Murphy, I don't think really, like you knew that's Eddie Murphy's brother. Right. But I think to put it in your set will now never disassociate you from him and the legacy, and that's a hard legacy to follow.
It is, man. First of all, it's impossible. Yeah. You can't fucking do that. And Charlie was older, so at the end of the day, it's like, you definitely ain't gonna get this shit. Like,
you see Charlie Murphy in like fucking leather.
I was about to say, you don't have none of the time that you need to catch this motherfucker, dog. And all of Eddie's shit is like, Eddie is like Jordan. Yeah. Like, there's nobody who dominated an era like him. Yeah. Like, he was like, I mean, think about that shit, bro. Like, he was on SNL at fucking 18. Yeah. Maybe even like 17. Then sells out Constitution Hall at fucking 20. I'm like, this is first special.
Because when he stopped doing stand-up and like strictly movies, he was all of 28, 27.
Bruh.
Like Coming to America?
Literally like a basketball player. Yeah. He came out of fucking high school and dominated, and then when his career is over, it's like, oh yeah, okay.
Wow. And because I was just having this discussion with somebody yesterday that, in my opinion, comedy actually works in reverse normally than being an athlete.
Yes. Normally, you get older.
You get older and stronger.
That's why this motherfucker is the GOAT to me. He was the first young dude doing comedy, bro. You never saw anybody. Everybody else, Bill, Carlin, fucking Richard, all of them were grown men wearing suits and shit. This motherfucker had a mismatched red leather.
He said it was orange.
But Eddie was so big, he picked up a tranny and no one said nothing. No one said anything. This motherfucker was talking to the cops like, hey man, I was just trying to help somebody on a thing. They were like, I mean, he's Eddie Murphy. He's probably trying to help this person. and then never again. No one brought that shit up. That's how good fucking Eddie Murphy is, dog.
You know how funny you gotta be to do that?
Bruh. It's only like legends that are doing shit like that. Yeah. Richard Pryor, it came out that this motherfucker was fucking Marlon Brando, and no one said shit, dog.
It's gonna be a fun episode.
Think about how fucking amazing you gotta be for a motherfucker to be like, hey, he was fucking Vito Corleone. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
that's what
it is what it is, you know? Shit, I love what he does, the wino. Like, I'm like, yo, this fucking, hey, that's what I'm aspiring to be, man. I'm like,
to get trannies.
Not to fuck Marlon Brando. Not to fuck Marlon Brando and pick up trannies, but allegedly. Allegedly.
You said it way too much.
Think about that. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Think about how amazing some of our fucking legends are. Bill Cosby was raping women
allegedly
throughout over 4 decades. And no one said anything, bruh. They were just covering shit up like he was a president. Like, I'm like, nigga, that's amazing, bro. That's power right there. That's power.
This is gonna be the one episode that when you upload stuff on YouTube, you're like, is this for children? I'm gonna say, no, not at all. Like some of them I debate. This one.
Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't know Donkey was out here. In the morning, I'm making waffles. You didn't know where that shit was coming from.
First of all, ladies and gentlemen, I'll never forget it again.
I'm sorry, man.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It is talent is one of those things, and I don't know if times are changing where, but for a long time, and I think still this day, how you can be so talented and you kind of become this, like a myth, the man, the myth, the legend. You can get away and do, like if we found out Ariana Grande kicked babies, they probably let a couple babies slide.
A couple. Yeah. A couple. How hard? You ask how hard. Which that is, you earn that.
What was the baby doing?
I was just about to say, was it in her way? Because she's got shit she's got to do. She's Ariana Grande. Now we got to talk about the parents. Why did the parents let that baby get in Ariana Grande's way? Here's the thing, man. We all, as human beings, are just earning that kind of slack. Like, no matter what, you already know if a dude who fucking kills every time on stage is a little late,
yeah, you
let it slide.
You do let it slide.
But the dude who been begging for 5 minutes or the thing you ain't show up, bro,
for nothing.
He was getting bumped already for the guy that was late. He just got bumped. I'm like, yo, so at the end of the day, why wouldn't we apply these particular concepts on our stars, where it's like, yo, like this is just what happens. Now the magnifying glass goes both ways, because if old boy gets a fucking DUI, who cares? That's why he late. No one ever wanted him on stage anyways. But if the guy who kills and is about to do, Stephen Colbert or NBC or whatever, and he gets a DUI, hey, look. Like Tiffany got pulled over in Vegas. It's like it was a big thing. Like blah blah blah. It's like, but you said you didn't even find any alcohol in it. Now you just trying to pick the story apart. Like, okay, bitch fell asleep and she was high or something like that. Like, who cares? Like but it becomes a story. So, I think my father, because I've always been against that specifically, which is I shouldn't have to play this game. Like, if I want to be like, my dream is not to be famous. My dream is to be a great stand-up. Like, that's what I want. Like, I want to do movies. I don't want the fame. I'm on some like Denzel shit where it's like, I don't want to have to do these fucking press runs and all of this shit. That shit is stupid to me. I just want to do what I wanted to do, because for 6 years, I did what I didn't want to do. And I know that seems like a short time, but when I was doing finance in New York, I'm fucking killing myself. Yeah. I'm like, that's one of the reasons why I left New York. I'm like, yo, I see why these motherfuckers is addicted to coke, fucking prostitutes, all of this shit, because they just trying to get over the hate they have for themselves, getting up and doing this shit. They selling their souls every day, and they know it, so they just trying to buy it back with whatever they can get, dog.
There was a thing you told me years ago. Where you told me to finance, and you can share it if you want, is I think you were at like a strip club.
Oh, that was the day I quit.
Okay.
That was the day I quit, man. I went to this strip club with my boys for lunch in Midtown. And I just remember, man, after having a couple of drinks, like it was probably like an hour and a half went by, and one of my boys was like, "Yo, man, you think it's time you gotta get back to work?" And I was like, nah, they be all right. And that day, after we left the strip club, I was like, I'm gonna have to quit because they're gonna end up firing me.
Like, you trying to call it bluff?
Yeah, because I was like, I don't give a fuck no more. And that's not a good feeling. Now you crazy at that point where you just like, I don't give a fuck. And I never wanted to be that guy. I hate that guy. I tell everybody, if you're around a person that doesn't give a fuck, leave. Get out. Because he's not good. He's insane. Motherfucker rolling weed in the car. Hey man, the cops. I don't give a fuck about the police. Like, that dude is insane. He's insane, bro. You never want to be that guy. So I had to fucking leave, man. I was like, bro, I'm out. And
the fact that you said y'all were at a strip club in the middle of the day means y'all discussed where should we go eat.
Bruh, titties and tater tots. That was our thing. Titties and tater tots. I'm serious. Steak and tater tots. That shit was like, it's amazing. I ain't. But it goes back to the whole, like, just having that conversation with my father, and he's just like, look, man, this is a part of the life. You can't choose a life and then try to pick what out of that life you want, right? You either, if you become a cop, you gotta shoot a motherfucker. Like, you can't go to the cop and be like, yeah, I'm gonna solve crimes the right way. Like, no, you gonna shoot.
I'm solve crimes with poetry.
That's what I was like, yeah, I'm gonna talk the criminal down, put that back. Like, it's not gonna work. So, that was a hard conversation for me to take, because I just hated, I don't know if you hate it as much as me, but I just don't like that whole the fakeness of it all, and I gotta do this, and I gotta be around these people, and I gotta go to these events, and it's a bunch of shit that it's just like, man, it takes away from the craft. Mm-hmm. Like, I love the craft. I don't love this life necessarily. I actually enjoy being on stage and saying shit that I manicured, right? That is very difficult to get away with saying, and I got away with it. Like, I don't know if that's some like deep, I just said that for the first time and heard it. While I was saying that shit, I was like, damn, is that what really gets you off? It's like, yeah, I just got away with that shit. Yeah. Motherfuckers can't say that shit. I can say that shit. Like yeah. But
I get that. Yeah, it's, in my case, and maybe it's the difference in the positions of life in which we started. Because I started in high school. So for me,
I forgot how young you were, bro.
So for me, stand up in a lot of ways is my catalyst to understand myself as a man. So I don't always say no to a bunch of shit. Like, I'm fine with doing the PR and all that other stuff, because for me, I'm like, well, I don't really know what else.
Right. You never.
Like, I had jobs, but it always boils down to, I really hated retail. Like, if I don't do this, I go back to like I never had a thing where I made more money than this.
So so at what age did you know you wanted to do stand-up?
So I started stand-up at 16.
Okay, so here's the thing, you never really worked a job without having the love of your life in the back of your head.
Nope.
So, right.
That's what I'm saying. Every job. Yes. Even whether I got fired or quit, whatever, I always, like, when they told me to do something I didn't want to do at my job, I was like, yo, what are you talking about? I'm a comedian. I don't give a fuck about, I would say that. I don't give a fuck about this. I don't care about this.
Yeah, see?
I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
So.
That's a cheat code.
Yeah.
That's a cheat code.
Because it never made any, like, in all honesty, this is the only thing I take seriously. Jobs I never took serious.
Right.
It was just like, oh, this is dumb.
Yeah.
Like this is cool. I can sit, talk to my friend.
See, but when you don't have the love for the other woman, now you just turn into other shit. You never really had it. That's what I'm saying. You never really had to turn.
I wasn't in the streets.
Get out. Good. All right, bitch, I'll leave. Like, I got no problem. It's like, yo, I had nobody.
Yeah. Oh, you
see what I'm saying?
You was a single dude.
But that's what I'm telling you. Like, you just start. And the funniest thing is, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day. I keep trying to tell him, hey, look, man, deal with your vices right now if you're gonna be in this industry, because if you don't, you're gonna turn to them. That's just what this industry. I'm telling you, that's just what this fucking industry does to people, dog. It makes you turn to the shit that you're addicted to or that you really deep, darkly want.
Your hidden thing?
Yeah.
Like, once you make it, you have the resources.
Who was, man, like we were, bruh, that's what we were talking about. We were talking about, I don't know if you're probably not old enough to remember Darren Sharper.
Tell me though.
So Darren Sharper was basically a cornerback in the NFL. And his thing was like on some Bill Cosby shit, where he was literally just going out, drugging bitches, and then taking them back to the house and fucking them. But like on some like, yeah, but like that's what he really fucking liked. And was doing it in different states. Like he was just like traveling. At least Bill, like I'm hearing like Bill was just like, you come to me. Bill like Darren is going out in different bars and like finding them. Like Bill was just like, you come back to the spider web and I got you. Like Darren was like, yo, I actually enjoy doing this. And the NFL afforded him a fucking lifestyle where it was like, I'm entertainment, like I'm a star, like I'm gonna do this.
I'm in town, here and there. It literally works with my vices.
I mean, you see it all the time on TMZ, bro. You see these dark, closeted shits, and you like, damn, like yo, man,
probably like that.
Like, yeah, like you were really dealing. So you already know if they just got caught, they've been doing this shit for a long fucking time. Like it's some Mr. Brooks type, serial killer type shit, dog. Like. So I just try to stress the motherfuckers, hey, look, man, figure it out. Figure it out right the fuck now before this wave of fame and fucking prosperity hits you. Because once you got the fame and the prosperity, it's like Kanye. You start spiraling out. I'm just trying to see my kids. I'm trying to be like going for president, like all of this type of shit, dog.
But Kanye is one of the very few that you look at and kind of could see this happen.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It only magnifies you, bruh. This is the motherfucker. Kanye, I got a friend who stood up on a desk, right? The first day of his school. Stood up on a desk, did this eccentric stuff, right? And I'm looking from afar, and I'm like, yeah, this motherfucker's gonna be uncontrollable when he gets rich and famous. Like he's gonna be uncontrollable when he gets rich, because if you're doing shit like that, right? So when I hear the story of JayZ saying, yo, he just stands up on the table, I'm like, yeah, I see him running for president if somebody doesn't, This whole thing is, and you see how someone can push the limits as much as possible. Because he's like, why shouldn't I be president? She tried to kill my baby. Like, that's why you shouldn't be president. And no one's saying anything because you made twisted, dark, beautiful fantasy. I'm like, yo,
he made some great art.
Say no.
Because you know what it is? Maybe they say, maybe that's just his process.
That's why I'm like, yo, no one said to Kanye, chill, bro.
Yeah.
Chill. Like we don't do this enough in society. It's like I'm seeing a Britney Spears girl. It's like, yo, I know her father is fucking her over and shit like that, but this bitch is not well. She's clearly not well. Why are we fighting for her to be like, bitch is shaving her head, she's fucking dancing. This 50-year-old pop star is fucking belly dancing in her drawers on fucking social media.
What's wild is, how do you know her dad's well either?
I don't. My thing is for the public.
Yeah.
Rome is the mob, bro. Like, that shit is, if you ever watch Gladiator, the motherfucker is like, what is Rome? Like, he's like, yo, the Rome is the mob. The public is the mob. The public sways. And the public don't even know the best fucking scenario for whoever they fucking swaying on. They just, they here to watch the motherfuckers kill each other. That's all that's happening right now. So, yeah, the dad is fucked up. Britney's fucked. They all fucked up. But no one's saying, hey, man, we need to get her some help. We need to get him some help. This is really sad. They're like, she should be free, and he's a criminal. Well, he's taking care of her. It's like, nah, man. Like this whole system is
want to fight.
Yeah, like I look at it like that. That's why I'm like, even when Chappelle did the trans thing, no one's sitting over here saying, yo, let's have a conversation. It's, yo, let's kill him. Like, fuck y'all. Like, you like, yo, this discourse is not helpful.
JayZ quote, my boy put me onto it, is to say, I might butcher it, but I might not. He said, build me up to break me down to build me up again. Hold, we need you back so we can kill your ass again.
Again, crazy.
All just
the whole thing, even that shit. And hey, listen, I'm not saying I'm better than the mob, cause I'm laughing when he getting his ass beat in the elevator too. But think about what we seeing. We seeing a dude be like, and not just
he's not Ray Rice.
Like that's what I'm saying. Too. That's what I'm saying. But we're looking at it and we're making fun of that. Yeah. But then at the same time, you look at Ray Rice and you be like, God damn, boy, like you didn't have to hit her like that. And then she's at the press conference. You just like, yo, this is a reality TV show that we're watching right now. Yeah. And everybody should step back and just be like, and just remember, these motherfuckers is human beings, dog, and this shit is weird. Mm-hmm. It's just weird, because it goes back to the conversation we were having off camera, which is, for some reason, sometimes in society, we lose the humanity of it all, and we're just enjoying the show. Mm-hmm. Like, yo, I'm just, hey, man, gladiators just trying to kill each other, dog. This shit is nuts, bruh.
And you seem to have a very level head when it comes to this, and you reference it a lot in this interview one with, is that your family dynamic? Because you reference your dad a lot.
100%.
Dad, and I don't know if you reference your auntie or stuff like that, people in the industry.
No, but 100%. Yeah. I can never, I tell my boy Ryan all the time, I can never have the problem of Kanye West and all of that shit. Or any, for the most part, a lot of these stars are dealing with this type of shit because they're the only ones who are doing well in their families, right? I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying a lot of it comes from being the guy. Yeah. So I can't tell you fucking up, because you might cut my money off if I do that.
Or if you stop doing what you're doing, it might cut that much.
Everything. Yeah. So we all gone. So go be crazy. Run for president, Kanye. I think you win.
Album sales going up.
So, but I tell Ryan all the time, my sister will punch me in my face if she see me wilding, bro. Like, she'll be like, who are you right now? My mom, my dad, they don't care about, they're good. They've been good. You know what I mean? So like, I'll always lean on them. Cause my dad is probably one of the smartest people I've ever met or know of in the world, and wise. I mean, he always makes life a lot easier to understand. I mean, not easier to go through, but definitely easier to understand. And I mean, it is for real, it is like a huge advantage and a blessing to have them, to like lean on them and ask them about shit. Which another thing is, like, I can't relate to a lot of comics, because a lot of comics come from these broken homes and broken situations that I'm like, yo, I hang out with my family a lot and I actually enjoy it. Like I genuinely enjoy my siblings. Like I genuinely enjoy just hanging out with my dad or hanging out with my mom and just being around them. My family too. Like, but I think that comes from my mom always stressing the importance of family. Like, bro, it's like we sitting down for dinner. We're asking about each other's lives and shit. Like we were forced to be human. Yeah. Like we was like, yo, you not about to like, which is funny too, cause like I'm actually working on some shit on stage from this perspective of my dad also was never gonna allow us to take credit from his or my mom's accomplishments. So a lot of kids who come from middle class or like upper class have an arrogance about them. Like that's why you always find the funny stories of white guys being, you know who my dad is, like this and that. It's like, my father preached individualism throughout our household all the fucking time. You're not rich, me and your mama are rich. Y'all ain't done shit. Like, you ain't even have a job. Like, all y'all, that's what I'm saying. Like, my dad used to be like, yo, all y'all do is break the shit I buy you and ask for more shit. Like, y'all ain't nothing. You're dead weight, bro. Like, you're part of the fucking deal. Your mama's the deal and you're part of it. And that's what.
You lucky I like this lady.
Yes. My dad, here's the thing. My dad, when I was fucking 7 or 8, and I think my brother might have been 10, my dad came in, like, I'm playing with Legos, and I don't know what my brother was doing. Might be playing Super Nintendo or some shit. My dad walks in and he's like, y'all are getting to this age now, you know what I mean? I just want to let you know, I love your mother, and if you ever do anything to hurt her or disrespect her, I'll kill both of you. Now wash your hands and get ready for dinner. And left. And I was just looking at my brother like, what did you do? And that was just like, so I always knew, like, yo, that was the thing. Like, I'm like, yo, this guy, like, always, I used to look at my dad and be like, man, this motherfucker is always fucking up my time, my good time. I got toys, I'm playing action figures, this motherfucker would be like, yo, clean this shit up. Like, what the fuck are you be like, yo, what's your problem, bruh? I'm just about to do the Wolverine versus the fucking Venom or something. Like, yo, what's your problem, man? Who is this guy, mom? So he was looking at us like, yo, who is this nigga, mom? Frida? Like, you just got people coming in my house putting toys in it. And now that I'm older, I just realized, like, this motherfucker just didn't like somebody who didn't put in.
Contribute.
Yeah, like, yo, it's like, that's why I get upset with these kids where they're like, yo, I don't want this, I don't want that. Like, my dad would be like, you got money for apple juice? No, I don't have it. Yeah, exactly. So shut the fuck up and drink this water. What's wrong with the water? The water's good. The water's good, Frida. I'm drinking the water. You think you better than me?
I have money.
And I'm rich. I'm like, yo,
I'm drinking the water and I'm rich.
That's what I'm like. So I'm like, so I think, you know, cause I'm not to like do the whole like, oh, I'm great, but like a lot of people do tell me like I don't have an arrogance or an entitlement about me, and they really don't even know that my parents are doing well, because that shit is instilled in me. Like, yo, I ain't done shit.
Yeah, I was telling my boy off air, I was like, yeah, I went to Aaron's crib, Austin, sorry, Jesus Christ. I'm thinking about my boy.
I was telling Aaron, and I went to Aaron's.
Yeah.
You went to my house? No.
I went to Austin's crib, and he had an elevator in it. I was like, okay, somebody made a good choice somewhere.
No, that's what I'm saying. But I didn't have an elevator. They had an elevator. I walk upstairs a lot. I got strong fucking legs because I don't have no elevators, dog. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, and that's what I'm hopefully gonna instill in my children. It's like, yo, that is a weird fucking place to just sprout out bullshit from, is what somebody else fucking did. Oh, wow, we should be this because you ain't done shit, bro. Like, what you talking about? To this day, one of the best things somebody said to me was, you ain't done shit. I ain't even gonna name the person, but I was speaking from a place of entitlement when it came to stand up, because I knew I was so good, and I was like, yo, like I'm thankful today that he had the nerve to say it, because sometimes motherfuckers won't say it because they think that, you know, that
it's gonna build
that energy will be like, nah, well, fuck you, man, you don't know. But he was like, yo, what have you done? And I was like, what? Man, I didn't know you was gonna say no shit like that. Why you gotta talk to me like that? He was like, yo, you ain't done shit.
I was just telling a story.
Man, come on, man. I was just complaining. You know what the fuck it is. He was like, man, you ain't done shit, dog. And I was like, you're right. You're right. So go back to the drawing board, work harder, and then fucking take off. Like, yo, so, but I do think that again goes right back to society. That's where a lot of people are complaining about their situation, and they think that they should get something because somebody else did something that they should get. It's like, hey man, the game is the game. The board is set. Ain't nobody moving. Figure this shit out.
Yeah.
Like figure it the fuck out, cause they not gonna change the game for you. They don't give a fuck, bro. They don't give a fuck. Nobody's coming. That was the second thing my dad used to say. No one's coming. No one's coming.
Was your dad an immigrant or something? Why he got all of these other country laws?
But my grandfather, Sonny Hall, it was. Like, I mean, not really, but he was a Native American. And at the end of the day, like, yo, like, you think shit was bad back then? It's like bad back then for a motherfucker who don't have nobody. You just you. It's like ain't no other Native Americans in Philadelphia in the fucking in the fucking 50s, dog.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, who else is here? Like now you standing on your own and shit like that. So at the end of the day, like my dad went to college at 16. Like it was a real like, yo, but this is another thing that I'm like, I think dudes these days really don't adhere to this, and we make fun of it all the time about the older generation being trained this way, but back then it was a real get your punk ass up mentality, like as a man, like talking to a boy, because the man knew no one really gives a fuck about you. They might say, oh no, it's gonna get better and shit, but no one gives a fuck, dog. They might just say it's gonna get better, but they're not helping you. They're just trying to make you feel better. And that's not gonna help your situation. You're gonna be down there crying for a fucking while.
Until you get up.
This is the wilderness. Like that's what your father and your grandfather and his grandfather and all of that shit, like all of those guys back in the past were trained that way, because that's the way life really fucking is. So get your punk ass up, because no one's coming.
Yeah.
Like, and it's still like that. They want you to think that it's not, in my opinion. They want you to think that, oh, this is a community, but it's not. It's capitalism. There's no community in capitalism.
I'm trying to make it.
It's the lottery, nigga. Who got the ticket?
Anybody who says they're trying to make it is, we're all essentially saying, I'm trying to be better than all these other people. I don't want to live like the masses.
It's the race.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Get your punk. Hey, bro, get your punk ass up.
Let's run, man. Thank y'all for subscribing to Behind the Mic Stand. Let's continue.
Let's get this shit to the next level, baby.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Let me ask you, when it comes to your leveling up process, now how do you apply that into like stand-up? Like your writing process, that kind of whole. Do you do the whole? Because I know in LA there's not as much, not stage time, but like open mics are farther apart. This kind of whole idea.
It is.
New York.
No, it is. It is. I mean, I'm lucky enough to be on road with Ryan, so I get 5 shows every weekend. So in between that, I try to I get up. I probably do about like an hour, maybe 2 hours throughout the day if I could steal it, of just talking to myself. So in the shower, I'm like talking over bits, and I mean that's where most of the shit, once you get in, once I make myself laugh, I already know. So I'm banking on my opinion. The majority of the time, we all are banking on our own opinion of what we think is funny. So anytime I make myself laugh out loud, I'm like, oh, I got it. That's it. Because if I make myself like, I don't laugh out loud for a lot of fucking people. So if you make me laugh out loud, then that means you did something or you are a very funny individual.
Yeah, I like this. I like what this is.
Yeah. So if I ever make myself laugh out loud, I'm like, all right, take it to the fucking stage.
Go crazy.
Let's go. And then hammer it out from there. I like to do it probably maybe 2 open mics a day in between the 5 shows a weekend, so that I could already have, because you already know it's more about like just being able to speak it clearly and all of that stuff. So once you get the
choice,
once you get the kinks out, once you like 6 years, 7-year veteran, that to me is basically your process at this point. Is what's funny, now it's ironing the shit out. So the more times you do it in an open mic, you're like, oh, okay, cool. Now I can say it in front of people. Once I say it in front of people, regular people, because open micers.
It'd be like comics.
Y'all open mics are a little bit different, because y'all have real people sometimes.
No, rarely. So New York City rarely has real people.
Right.
right outside of New York though, like if you go like Philly, anywhere else.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah,
So
New York
y'all are
State,
so
if it's
y'all
open
are
mic, it's
all right. So
real.
y'all are similar to us then.
Yeah.
So that can get you motherfucker. That's a wrench. That's a wrench right there. You telling age jokes and that shit is killing it in an open mic. And then you take it to the real people and they're like, our souls aren't black.
No, we don't. Not only do we not like this, we don't like you. It's a lot happening.
It was like
here.
you're dead inside and you need help.
Yep.
Like so, sometimes you have to be able to still gauge.
You gotta gauge what's for your friends and what's for the world.
But that, what's funny is 2 years ago it clicked for me. I stopped necessarily caring about what it was in the open mic. I use the open mic just to get me comfortable with saying this thing. Mm-hmm. I don't give a fuck if they laughing or not anyways, because I'm on the road killing.
Days.
So if I go back, I usually like doing this shit too. I'll tell a joke that I'm killing on the road in the open mic and no one laughs, and I'll be like, all right, cool, perfect. And then we just go, because these motherfuckers don't know anyways.
Yeah.
You be like, I don't really give a fuck. So once you start hitting your stride, man, you gotta treat it like a real business though. Mm-hmm. Like that's the thing. Like a lot of people think that this shit is, oh, you just get to do this and do that. It's like, nah, man, I put myself in school. I give myself structure. Like every single day, this has gotta be who you are.
Yeah. How did you acquire my full friends rapping by the way?
No.
How did you acquire the road? Because you say you're going to war with Ryan, which is true, but I think you're one of the first people we've had on the show who even discussed going on the road with somebody, and kind of how did you even acquire that? Was it like, oh yeah, Ryan, because you know how people see this game. Oh, someone saw me and said, you're gonna be a star.
Nah, man. We were talking about other projects and we ended up just talking comedy for like 3 hours straight. So once, it was really a mutual thing. It was like once we started talking about comedy, I was like, oh, this is one of the few people in this game that I could relate to on a lot of different fucking levels about what we want our careers to be, who we fucking love, like all of this stuff. And at that point, that's really what the game is finding somebody who actually likes you and your comedy, because they gotta like you too. They gotta like being around you, because you're gonna be around them all the fucking time. Like some people, that's the one thing that I lucked up. I can't tell anybody else, but I have somebody who doesn't give a fuck if I'm not going to the fucking club with him. You know what I mean? Like he's cool with just the work itself is good enough for him. A lot of comedians like going to the club, chasing women, doing this, doing that. And if you're not doing that with them, why the fuck are you around? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, a motherfucker might get kicked off the road just because you're not a good time.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you don't even drink. Who is this? Who is this motherfucker?
But sometimes I've been on the road with one of my guys. He was just my regular friend. I took him on the road. He didn't drink, and he actually kept me wild focused. It was rough.
I know,
because I wanted to like party or something.
But you got me. It's a responsibility thing.
You need someone to focus, because you can't. Especially those are some of my earlier times on the road. It taught me, okay, this is the best way to do this.
Yes.
It might not be the most fun.
No.
But it is the smarter thing.
It goes back to what we were saying earlier. This fucking game will push you to whatever the fuck
whatever your
want.
vices are.
Anything but the work. This thing will push you. Anything but the work. Man, you got shows tomorrow. Man, fuck that shit, man. Order another bottle. Like, you be like, yo, man, I think Netflix is gonna be there for you. Man, fuck Netflix.
Fuck Netflix.
They should be filming this shit right here. Like, yo, you wildin', bro.
And then Netflix stop answering call. Why y'all don't call? See, that's the game.
It's the game, man.
Yeah, it's like, it is the game.
Motherfuckers is dirty, bro.
Yeah, but here's what. You said it. It is the game.
It's the game. So I went to Morehouse, and I did this pre-summer program, and this was one of the best things too, man. They basically were telling us, like a couple of the upperclassmen were basically, they sat us down and they were like, look, man, it's a lot of women out here, like, but we gonna tell y'all straight up, the girls at Spelman, they're gonna be done with their homework before they come out fucking with you. So be done with yours. Because what happens to a lot of motherfuckers that go to school is they party the fuck out. You supposed to have fun, but you supposed to get your work done. And college most of the time shows you who's capable of prioritizing as an adult, because it's the
partying.
No, because it's the first time. Here's the thing: college is the first time that you really get to be without structure, right? They don't give a fuck. That's what, like, that was another thing. Like, they were like, you'll see who really cares about their appearance and all this other shit. Like, freshman year, they allowed you to just go to class in flip-flops, pajamas, or whatever. So motherfuckers was doing that shit just because this was the first time. You telling me I can go to school like this? Yeah, like, fuck yeah. Like, everybody in the school, except for girls, at Spelman, you can take classes over there, they all dressed up. Presentation, whatever, like, motherfuckers coming over like, hey, man, you know, it is what it is. So, like, you start, like, it's the first time without your parents waking you up saying it's time to go to school, get dressed, all of this shit. So now you gotta be an adult. Like, you gotta put that
kind of. It's like that adult life.
You gotta put your structure to yourself, but it's also on some shit where you costing somebody $30,000 if you don't. See, I'm a person who's moved by fear and respect. Like, cause them is really the only two things that really move people. Like, a person, like, as a kid, you either fear your parents or you respect them. Kids are too young for respect. Respect is something older motherfuckers get into, right? You don't respect your parents until you fucking 19, 20, maybe even older than that.
Yeah.
Right? But I feared my dad.
For some reason.
For a specific reason. It's a motherfucker who he's quick to whap.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Took a turn. All right.
And I'm a least resistance type of guy.
Yeah.
So after I get hit, I'm like, so what do I need to do? Shit, homework? Bring my assignment notebook home. Yeah. Man, that's the last time. Matter of fact, I'm gonna write that in my assignment notebook. Never forget to bring this motherfucker home.
Throwing the hand on his face.
Start tracing. Matter of fact, put your hand down.
Remember.
I'm gonna raise it. So, like, to me, that's always been I just don't, I know the sacrifice that my parents and everybody involved in my life, that's the shit that is just like, I done all of it. Remember, I'm in New York, wilding the fuck out. I've already lived that life. I'm not interested in that life. That life has no fucking meaning to me. I've never been selling out Madison Square Garden. So let me do this and see if this is something that I like. Cause I know fucking all these bitches, drinking, drugs, all of that shit. Yeah, that's right there. But I know what that is. So let me just do this. This is all that matters to me. People used to be upset with me. They think I would be standoffish because I would just go to the Comedy Store and watch comedy. I wouldn't talk to nobody. Cause I'm here to watch Bill Burr, nigga. There's no other reason why I'm at the Comedy Store. I'm watching Bill Burr. And they talking to my friend like, what's up with your boy?
You don't wanna hang?
He don't wanna hang? No, I don't wanna hang.
Yeah.
Most of you motherfuckers really ain't that funny anyways. It's like one of them things.
Crazy.
It's like one of them things where you be like, can't hang out with everybody, man.
Yeah.
You know, we all are a family or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's only a few motherfuckers, you included, that I'm like, oh, like they really want it.
Yeah.
It's only a few. Like we talk about, I know you're not a sports guy.
But I'm here. I'm learning more about it. I'm so proud. I'm so proud.
It's like Kobe.
That's what you about to reference?
Right.
I've been watching. Well, I just watched the documentary. I'm just happy about that.
It's like Kobe, right? Kobe Bryant is not as athletic. He's not as athletically superior
as LeBron.
As anybody in the like. There's people like Miles Bridges where like, yo, the athleticism is off the charts, but the hunger is non-existent in 98% of the people that make it to the league, in any fucking league. They made it to the league. They don't give a fuck about this shit like that. But if you really wanted it, if you really love this shit, you'd be studying it, you'd be working on your fucking, it's like Ben Simmons. Why Ben Simmons can't shoot? Because he don't really love basketball like that.
He's just good at basketball.
He's amazing at basketball.
Yeah, it's the guys who are innate. Because you were one of those guys, like when I put out my comedy album, you call me, yo, I listen to this band. I be hyped. I'm like, yeah. What you listen to? Okay, I can work on that. All right, good. I'm gonna go work on that tomorrow. Like we've had this discussion, this energy.
That's what it is. And I think, you'll sit and have conversations with other comedians, and you can quickly realize nothing against you. You just not in it for the same reasons.
You can also see why people fail. Like it's crazy, and not necessarily in this interview show. I've had the luxury of being able to learn how to watch people and listen to what people say. And my mom's a social worker too, so some of that weeds into my work. You talk to somebody long enough, sometimes you realize what holds them back from entry level success. You don't gotta be like rich and wealthy. It's hard for anybody. But entry level money, you be like, oh, I see why. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you lazy. Like what your boy told you. It's like
you ain't done
shit.
What's wrong with you, man?
You ain't done shit.
Your perspective is probably the number one reason why a lot of people don't do a lot of shit is you think this shit is supposed to be easy, or you think this shit is supposed to be given to you, or you think, and life don't owe nobody shit. Get your punk ass up and do something. It's as simple as that, bro. Well, I should have, the industry don't like real. The industry don't like real. It's like, yo, nobody's real in the industry. Like nobody. That's what I'm saying. Like nobody.
You looked up to.
They don't want to give a black man power and shit. Martin was forcing the fucking network to put black writers on. Richard Pryor was forcing the studio to hire
the
black
Wayans family. There's
nobody.
Two of them.
Nobody. There's nobody.
Of Wayans.
Denzel says it all the time. If you looking for an excuse, you can find one. And that's where a lot of people just fall short. It is easier. That's why I hate fucking Twitter. I hate all of social media, because social media has trained people to just say something rather than do it. So it's easier for me to tell y'all why this is a problem. Oh, this is fucked up because such and such, but you ain't doing nothing. You just telling motherfucker it's an issue. Like that's all you're really doing.
Just spreading.
It's easy. It's easier for me to tweet or Instagram post a blue block and say I'm with Paris than to actually be with Paris and do that shit. Hey, I'm with y'all. Hey, I'm with y'all, man. Y'all deal with them stabbings over there, man. Don't listen. God bless America and Paris at the same time. See, you see what I did there, man? I gave the blessings to America to Paris because I'm with y'all. Y'all see the blue block? Y'all don't see the blue? All right, no one sees the blue block.
It's gonna be good. I got tons of clips. This is fantastic. I actually one last question, bro, because I've enjoyed this, and I feel like at bare minimum, we can get into your stand-up. You've said that on other things, kind of how you work, but I feel like people will grasp who you are in your mind. I think that's the more important thing. Now, towards the end of every episode, we do ask if you had some advice for somebody, like. Let's say the version of you specifically before he left the job, before he left the not real estate, what was it?
Finance.
Finance. Before he left the finance job, what advice would you give this guy to kind of get him, guy or girl, to get him to what you perceive them to need or be, success, whatever? What gem would you give them?
One, get your punk ass up.
I knew it in my heart that was gonna be one.
That's what I'm saying. One, get your punk ass up. Two, I do have this discussion with a lot of my friends, and I actually had this conversation with my brother probably about 2 weeks ago. I was fortunate enough to have like the Isaac Newton scenario where the apple hit me on the head and told me my purpose, right? But a lot of people aren't lucky enough to have that Isaac Newton apple falling out of the tree, hitting them on the head moment. So like I've told my brother before, sometimes a nigga gotta shake the tree. Like you have to consciously try to figure out what the fuck you're doing here. Because most of the time we're directionless. So everybody's going through life right now, and was it me and you were talking about? It's like, yo, here's the thing. Humans aren't even supposed to be in this situation.
Yeah.
Right? So we're supposed to just, like, after you finding a girl, fucking her, and having kids, you're pretty much done in life. Yeah. That's what this is all about.
You did the like genetic code.
Right, it's procreating. Legacy is some man-made shit, right? So the guy who's working at Walgreens and just going through life, he don't have no direction. So you need to get that direction. You need to find out what the fuck is gonna make you happy in life, because if you don't, you're gonna be miserable. So you gotta purposely take some time, list out some shit, figure out what do I like to do, can I make money doing it, and start working towards that as quickly as you can. I'm talking about right the fuck away. As soon as you say, here's the thing, if you're watching this episode and you don't know what the fuck you want to do, get out the piece of paper right the fuck now and start writing down, this is what I like to do. Oh, I like to take walks. All right, well, if you can get paid for anything today. Yeah. No one has any excuse to be fucking miserable in this life. Bro, anything. Like, yo, I like to ski. I like to walk.
When I first found out dog walking was a real profession.
It's a real job.
I didn't know that.
Talk to a dog walker.
Comedy, and everybody was dog walking. I was like, what?
You're like, yeah.
You make money.
No, I get paid walking these dogs.
Walking blew my mind.
I walk all my bitches. I walk all my bitches. People ask me what I do. I say I walk bitches. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do. And get paid for it. That's why I'm like, yo, you got no excuse. That is why we laughing at the get your punk ass up thing, but that's what that overall umbrella means, man. You got no fucking excuse, whatever. If JayZ can do it, I seen a documentary on an Indian dude who grew up like this motherfucker was on Slumdog Millionaire. He grew up, learned the fucking steel industry, moved to the UK, and now he's a billionaire. I'm like,
sometimes you just gotta move. Sometimes you're one move away from being the richest guy ever.
60,000 rupees. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I'm like, yo, you got no excuse. This thing's walking by baby diapers and shit 1 minute, and then he's learning this. Bruh, it's all about what it is. Yeah. Is your road harder? Yes. So what? The guy who's walking on the road that's easier isn't like, well, you know, maybe you can walk on my road. We in the game, baby. We in the game. When the referee calls the foul, that's really not a foul. Is the other team like, well, maybe you should give it to him? No. Like, this is the game. Thank you, ref. They looking at the screen like, yeah, that wasn't no foul at all. Shit, I'm glad I'm shooting these free throws. It's like, yo, stop. Just get up, man. Just get up. Everybody get up and fucking go write some shit down and figure it out and move towards it. It don't matter how hard you got it. It don't matter how easy you got it. Because as we talked about before, it's rich, miserable motherfuckers, right? Now, it wasn't you, it was me and Ryan. We was talking about that. No, we were talking about maybe like, because I was saying, like, my mom used to tell me about Elon Musk before he was Elon Musk. This is when him and his brother came up with PayPal. So this is when they started getting money, like money. And my mom was like, yo, it's these brothers, man. They're so eccentric. And like, it was like, she always be telling me about, I don't give a fuck about no motherfuckers from South Africa, mom. Like, it's comedy. Are they comedians? And so he eventually goes on to do what he does. And Ryan says, somebody says to Ryan, well, it doesn't help that his dad owns a sapphire mine or whatever. And I was like, if you think for 1 second, because his dad owned a sapphire mine, that this motherfucker was just gonna automatically go to build Tesla and fly to space, you're a dummy.
That's a vastly different.
Look at motherfuckers like Rob Kardashian, who ain't shit, who don't do nothing. They come from a rich and famous family. Like, yo, that shit, it don't matter who you are, where you come from, no nothing. That's the beauty about being in this lottery we call America. Is you got a shot. It may be a Powerball-esque shot, but you got it.
I love that.
1 in a billion, but I'm playing this motherfucking game, dog.
Play the game,
I got the 47, 45, 47. That's what it is, man. Mike Epps said it best.
Yeah.
I'm in it, man.
Dude, Austin, appreciate you, bro.
No problem, man.
Great. This is solid. I enjoy this. I feel like Y'all gonna have a good time watching this, and I always appreciate you subscribing, liking, all of that other stuff. Thank you for watching Behind the Mic Stand. My name is Alex Babbitt. This is the one and only Austin Hall.
Got it right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next episode. Peace. Hey guys, thank y'all for watching Behind the Mic Stand. If y'all enjoyed it, as I think you did, because you made it to the end, like, subscribe, make sure you hit that notification button so you hear the subscriptions and shit. You know how it works. Just like it. Stop skipping this part and do it right now. Somewhere right here. I think it's right here.